I'm going to do something a little bit different. I have questions for our witnesses, but I also have a statement I want to start with here. I appreciate the opportunity that it brings, this hearing brings, for us to address the wider issue of renewable fuel standards. I understand the supporters of the bill believe that the Reed vapor pressure issue should be a separate consideration from RFS, but I can't separate the two, as this bill provides another win for ethanol and at the expense of other forms of energy. The bill is more than a mere technical fix, more than mere regulatory reform. The bill would expand the waiver to E15 and beyond. If we are to revisit the provision of the Clean Air Act, which was intentional, we must also look at the many other issues that have arisen since the mandate was created. Congress enacted the RFS in 2005 and expanded it in 2007. I oppose both efforts. The world of liquid fuels has changed since then, and we produce more oil here, import less, and consume less gasoline and emit fewer emissions from oil-based fuels. Most of the rationale originally justifying the RFS has disappeared. All we have left is an unstable program rooted in EPA waiving entire portions of annual requirements, allowing imported soybeans and ethanol from South America to count towards RFS and regularly missed deadlines. The mismanagement of the RFS has hurt every party involved. Oklahomans understand that the RFS is a bad deal. Our pork producers, our cattlemen understand it to drive feed prices up. Oklahoma drivers understand that ethanol blends add wear and tear on their engines. Oklahoma gas stations across the state advertise gasoline without ethanol. There we go. I took those myself. Unfortunately, it's going to get harder for Oklahomans to find clear gas because the RFS mandate only gets worse from here. Yet, regardless of demand and other concerns, the previous EPA pushed increased ethanol blends to levels that can corrode engines and void vehicle warranties. These are just a few of the reasons why I continue to oppose the RFS, which I have done since its creation in 2005. And because of these concerns and those addressed by the chairman, I believe any discussion of a waiver under the Clean Air Act should not be made in a vacuum. I welcome the opportunity to explore these concerns. Now, Mr. Teske, back when I enjoyed life, I was a builder and developer along the coast in southern South Texas. Texas didn't have options for the small engines out there. Oklahoma, they're surprised to find out in Oklahoma we don't have that problem. In fact, it's hard to find anything with an ethanol blend where you actually have the small engines in our lake areas. And I have to remind people sometimes that Oklahoma has more miles of freshwater shoreline than any of the 50 states, and we know what we're doing there. But down in Texas, they don't have that option. Now, here's what I hear from the guys down there, and you're in the engine business, so you're in a position to understand this. They are upset because of the effects on their warranties. They'll go ahead and be using the blends that they're required to use because there's no option along the coast in their small engines. Then when something happens, they come back against the manufacturer. That would be you, and have a lawsuit in many cases as a result, when in fact it was really just the blend that caused it. Is this all new to you, or is this something you've been aware of?
Yeah, it's certainly not new to us. We warrant up to E10, and our engines are fine running up to E10, but the issue is that when there is misfueling, and there's opportunities for dealers to determine how much ethanol is in the fuel. There's testing kits and other things that are out there, which is why they oftentimes will do that test and then reject the warranty claim along the way. And now what's happens is the consumer is left with a damaged product. Yeah. And Mr. Senator, if I could just clarify one thing on Brazil. The comment was made on Brazil. Brazil has a different type of ethanol. It has sugarcane-based ethanol. You got to remember that when you're talking about performance of a small engine, we're talking about a trade-off that happens between emissions regulations and performance. Well, down in Brazil, it's different.
Yeah.
And so it's sugarcane based, and I can tell you, we have a pretty good carburetor business down in Brazil because of the fact that they get replaced all the time. But to your original question, yes.
Yeah,
this
well,
is
no,
not nothing
I
new.
was aware of the situation down there, and that was going to be my next question to ask you, so I appreciate it. But I don't want my time to go completely expired. I've been with this issue probably longer than anyone at this table has, and with the whole ethanol issue. And I remember when Al Gore invented it all, and well, I'm serious about that. He did it with the idea this is better for the environment and all of that. And I think, Mr. Lewis, if I judge your statement, it sounds to me like Al Gore was wrong. Do you think he was?
Yes, we do. We don't think
Thank
that
you very
conventional
much.
ethanol is